Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining Create with Dee. I'm Dee Slater, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my Wednesday morning lives where I'm streaming both on YouTube and Facebook. As always, when you come in, if you want to say hi, let me know where you're from. That would be great. I'm here in Northeast Indiana. And even if you're watching the replay, it's always fun to see the comments afterwards too on it. Speaking of comments, if there's anything in this video that you like, I would appreciate a thumbs up, a heart, depending on where you're watching from, and leave a little comment about what you might like best about what you might have seen here in the video. Well, today what we're going to do is I'm going to use a sketch layout for the class. This was a craft along class. A craft along was meaning that my newsletter subscribers, they could have ordered the class kit to go in time to make this with me live or to make it at their convenience on it. And so I'm going to be making the cards from the craft along. And it's going to be using the sketch here that you see in the background. And as people are getting notifications, I'll just kind of, tell a little bit about what I have coming up. Also, I have, this will be a future class that I'll do live. It'll be another opportunity if you want to do a craft along. I'm not going to necessarily bill it as such, but it's just going to be what I'm calling like a faker shaker class, meaning that we don't have to have the window sheets and the foam strips, but an easy way of making fun shaker cards. So if this is something that you're interested in, please make sure that you're signed up for my newsletter, or you can reach out to me in a message some way. Hi, Doreen. Good morning. All right, so I'll turn the camera around. I think that my internet connection is a little slow. I'm seeing some delays on here, so hopefully that this will stream straight through here today. But let me turn the camera around and we'll get started. All righty. So for the Unbound Beauty craft along, what I did is I started out with this card sketch here, and we're going to make different versions of it. So I think it's going to be a really fun class. It's a fun sketch, and all of this stuff will be on my blog, probably I would say by the weekend on it too, but you can kind of see the sketch that I'm doing here now. Let's go ahead. So I'll be making, again, 3 versions of that sketch. Let me bring the sketch in. So all of the cards are going to start with the traditional card base, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half. And we're going to have a matting layer of 4 by 5.25. And then we're going to have 2 strips of designer paper, 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. 2 of them that will go on the top and bottom. And then we have this middle section here that's 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And we'll kind of see different layouts that you can do using just this one easy sketch. So our first one just copies the sketch by itself. And so I am using the Unbound Beauty suite of products, and the stamps and the bundles that I'm using today that match that designer paper are the Unbound Love. This one's a great all word, and it has like what I call the outside inside. So something on the outside and a companion sentiment for the inside, and using the labels that are found on that. And then also some of the coordinating images to stamp on the inside and our envelope, as well as these 2 strips of flowers to accent it too. So that whole suite of products was used here at class. All right, so when you get the card kits, you do have enough materials to make 2 of each one. We're just going to be making 1 here today. So let me just get a half a pack out. So this is what your kit would look like. So you get the materials that we need for 1. These out, and I need 1 more. There we go. And I'll put the other ones back in. And we'll go ahead and get one of the envelopes so we can stamp a coordinating one. All right. So again, we're going to start with a traditional card base, 8.5 by 5.5. This is one of the new In Colors Peach Pie. This designer paper pack is filled with those in colors. So if you like them, you're going to absolutely love, love, love it. Let's see here. Missing my labels. I didn't get those out. They're hiding from me. There's one. So I know that there's so many of us that had experienced a storm last week, so I hope everybody's doing good, or you're getting your damage reported in and all of that. We had a crazy weather pattern that came through. All right, so here, that outside one that I'm doing the layering, the matting layer, is the 4 by 5 and a 4th. And what I like to do is I like to start with the designer paper strips, the 1 1/4 by 3 3/4 strips. And so I'll go ahead and I'm just using liquid glue. You can use whatever adhesive of choice that you want. And there's about 1/4 of an inch. I mean, it's a 1/4 of an inch matting. So whichever one that you start there, you know, just kind of follow through with both pieces. This designer paper does have orientation, so if you got the class kit to go, just make sure that you got the flower stems going in the right direction. And then we'll put our middle section. Again, this is the 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 section. And then you can kind of just space that one between the smaller strips. And I just want to show you what a pretty layout that is. Isn't that pretty? Such a great starting layout to start with. Now for me, I like to go ahead and build my layers. So I like to build my matting layers on the 4 by 5 1/4 first. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to our card base. Put that down. And now let's do some stamping. Again, I'm using the Unbound Love stamp set that has so many beautiful sentiments in it. And so this one I'm using Hope. And I'm going to bring in some coordinating ink colors here. And so for this card, it's got the Peach Pie and the Petunia Pop and the designer paper. So I'm going to be using the Peach Pie with the Hope. And I'll stamp that in the middle. And then on the inside of the card, it's going to read Hope. Hope is believing in a brighter tomorrow. So we'll get that stamped in the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a little flowers and get my envelope, because while I have it, we'll do our envelopes at the same time. Okay, go to the front. So again, this is from the Flowers of Beauty, a companion. And let's go ahead and stamp the envelope. And now we'll get the Petunia Pop. And this one's an outline stamp. Or it can just be a standalone. If you want to, you can kind of try to match it up. Sometimes I just like to stamp around it and just give it a real artsy look. And then that way too, if you don't feel like lining it up, you don't have to. I will do that. Okay. That's our stamping that we're going to do. I'm going to get these closed up before my top gets in there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the inside in. This is the same 5 1/4 by, or 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white. And that's just going to go in here. And then for the Hope, I'm going to get some Stampin' Dimensionals. And go ahead and get 2 of those. And this is going to go right into the center panel of our Unbound Beauty craft along in our card sketch. And I'm going to go ahead and get some mini glue dots. I'm going to, well, I guess not just yet. Also in your pack, you've got a lot of the die cut images here. We're going to take 2 of the oranges. And again, this is from the dies that I showed you. These dies here, they one swipe through your die cut machine and you get 8 flowers. So it can either make a border or you can get a lot of flowers with one pass. I'm going to get 2 of these. It's a little clingy here, but it's a way of keeping all of our little embellishments organized. So if you ever take a class from me, that's one of the things I'd like to do is if there's a lot of little embellishments, I put them in a separate bag for us. And let's see here, where is my, I don't know where my take your pick tool, oh, it's right over here. Alrighty, so on the back side of here, I'm going to put a mini dimensional, or you can cut a regular size dimensional either in half or about 1/4. And I'm going to take the backing off. And go ahead and put one in the upper left corner, lower right. And then I love these new in color gems that we have. And so I'm going to go ahead and take the petunia pop one and pop up the color of that petunia pop on the front of the card by using that color of the gems. And then the last thing for this card is we'll get our glue dots. Maybe we'll get our glue dots. And we're going to put a glue dot on the back of this and put it here and then trim down the tails. And then we've got our first sketch card done for our class. All right, so that's one way of using that sketch. The second way of using our sketch, and I'll bring this one in. Let me bring this sketch back. What I did is I started out with a strip of the 1 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece of designer paper, and I trimmed this down so that I had I took 1/4 of it off, and that left me 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 by 2 1/2 by 1 1/4 piece of designer paper. So we'll just kind of mix up that strip by cutting it to make a little square in the corner. All right, so let's mix this card together, show you what that looks like. And we're going to use the really pretty green tone, kind of a blue green of Summer Splash. Pretty and pink. Get my envelope to stamp. This is one of those layers. The local card class, we made this yesterday, and they were calling this the Band-Aid label, and I thought that was kind of cute and very accurate on that. And let me get my designer paper out. So again, we're going to need 2 of those because we have the front and back, or the up and down. And put this off to the side. That's everything that we need. All right, so let's put this one together and show you a couple of other options as we go. Again, the purpose of this class is just to show how you can take one sketch and just think of it in a lot of different ways. And let's see here. Oops. Get my, got our same as before. We've got our cardstock, and then because this is a colored background, we're going to use basic white. We'll need 2 of them, just like the last card, 4 by 5 1/4. And let's go ahead and we'll start building up our layers here from our sketch. All right, so again, started out, of course, this one's not the one that matches this, but I did start out with this strip of paper and then cut 1 1/4 off and then flipped it to the other side to get its companion piece. And if the color, sometimes the designer paper does not, you know, might not be quite coordinating, that's okay. Just grab another piece from your paper stack and do that. Down for that. And then if I have the long piece in the one corner, put the long piece in the opposite corner on the other side. I'll do that. So again, for this one, I do like, oops, make sure I get the right one. Okay. I'm going to just put this real up close to it so there's no seam. So this is what this one looks like with the cardstock not embossed, but I thought what I would do is do another little step up. And if you got the card kit to go, you did get the step up version of it as well. And I'm using the embossing folder of the time worn type. It's got a little bit of exposed brick and some other little like stucco elements on it. I really like that. Gives a nice little texture look to it. And we'll put this here. Again, if you do the top and bottom first, you can just kind of space your center panel accordingly. So that's what that one looks like. Good morning, Joan. Thanks for saying hi. Okay, so I've made my designer paper layer. Now I can put this on here. Now, again, as I was sharing, it's like I'm going to show how you can mix up this look a little bit. So while all of the samples are designed to go vertical, feel free to flip these. You've got 2 in your kit, so if you want to, you can flip them in the other direction, and that's what I thought I would do for this one. All right, so for this sentiment, this says, "Love never gives up," and I'll stamp another little coordinating image in that. So if I wanted to, I could put the "Love never gives up" on the inside, but I wanted it all on the label here. So we're going to use our Pretty in Pink and our Summer Splash. So just kind of giving you some ideas too on this like really loaded up sentiment stamp set. I think it's really a nice one. And we'll do love. And let's see here. I think I'll use, well, I've got that. I'm just going to kind of use our floral images. I need to clean this a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of our pink and wherever my envelope went. You can do this however you'd like. All right. And then we've got Love Never Gives Up. And we'll do that in our Summer Splash. Have that. And then this little image here, or this little embellishment is part of the Unbound Love where the sentiments are at. So you do get like some of these matching images from the designer paper on it. And let's see, I think I also want on this one just to kind of mix it up a little bit. It has that in the floral stamp set of Unbound or of Flowers of Beauty. It's got this little coordinating image here of the leaves. Let's see, where do I want that? Should have put that down first. Let's go this way. Just have it kind of go off of the paper a little bit. And we'll go ahead and put something on the back. Do something like that. It's kind of random. Okay, ready to kind of assemble this one. All right, so we can go ahead and put down the inside. So again, here's our template, our sketch, and we're just kind of mixing up the layouts a little bit. And we'll get our dimensionals again. And put 3 on this one. So just kind of showing ways that you can use this, this suite of products. If you do, like me, loved everything in it, Stampin' Up! Makes those suites really easy to order with one number. So we'll put Love Never Gives Up like that. Just kind of doing a little mix up on it. And I'll get out my embellishment pack again. Now this time we're going to need some other of the dies. We're going to use this little leaf image. There's 2 different leaf images in here, and we want the single one. Maybe I'll just put them all out off to the side so you don't have to watch me do it each time. So we're going to need the single one and 3 of our little flowers this time. And I'll get my mini dimensionals again. And we'll get those. And let's see, there is a front and back side to these. So I'm going to just make sure I've got my back side on the flowers. This time we'll use 3 of them down at the bottom. We have a long label. And we'll do that. And then for our love, I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on the stem. And I'll put that right up here in the corner of our label. Now we can take the flowers off. And I'm so embracing the gems on it. And you can kind of start in the center of your Love Never Gives Up. On the Never Gives Up, you can kind of use that as the center on it. And where's my other little flower? Let's just grab another one. Oh, there it is. Stuck on my center finger. Perfect. That's a perfect resting place for that. All right, so Love Never Gives Up. Kind of put those where you want. And then let's go ahead and we can, if you want, you can mix and match what gems that you want to use on it. So like, for example, if you want to, you can, I'm going to put the Summer Splash ones on down here. There we go. If you wanted to, you could put all 3 different colors on it. And we'll do that. And then on the leaf, put a little gem up there. Okay, so that's our second layout here that we have. Again, this is this layout, the same layout, but you can just turn the orientation. And thank you, Joni, who did class yesterday. She was the first one that did that. So I thought I'm so going to show that to my, my social media followers on it. Okay, so that's our second look for that. Our third card from the Craft Along uses, again, that same layout. Only this time, what I did is I took that 1 1/4 by 3 1/4 strip and cut it into 3 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 squares on here. Okay, so, and on this one, I just really mixed and matched all of the papers from the designer paper and the color palette that I wanted, because you have some of the peach in there, but I kind of picked all of them that had the petunia pop with it as well. Let's see what I've got here. Okay, so ahead of time, or not ahead of time, but let's go ahead and we'll get all of our goodies out. Another one of the labels, and so we need 6 of our colors here. And oh, I borrowed some from this. We'll kind of mix and match this. I don't have this particular one, but I've got plenty in here for us to show. So what I like to do is just kind of get my layouts done first. And let's see here. And I'm going to need to repeat one. Let's go this way. Okay. So there are our 6. For this layout, what I did is just left the cardstock open here. So instead of cutting out another piece of designer paper or cardstock, with having a color piece of cardstock with a white card base, it kind of automatically gives that center section there. And again, I used the time-worn type and embossed it, the cardstock, just to give a little extra look to it. So I wanted to show you unembossed and embossed. And do this. Get some of my extras out of the road. So just like before, I'm going to start building my designer paper on my matting layer first. Again, this is Petunia Pop 4 by 5 1/4, and then I ran it through the embossing folder. And for this one, what I found I like to do is start with my center square. I don't know if anybody watching here remembers the old Hollywood squares, but remember the center square was always the one to try to get. So we just want to I'm just eyeballing where the center is and getting that going. Joan and Doreen are from Minnesota. So get one to start in the center, and then you can build your squares left and right from there. And since there's no center panel that we need to line up, however you start the top one, you're just going to finish with the bottom. And you could lay these out a little more ahead of time just to make sure that you have what you want on it. I might have had this a little bit. I can have a little more space here. Okay, so let me see if I can lift off my center. It's going to rip the paper just a little bit, but I still have time to move it, and it'll cover up where I ripped. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so we'll do the same thing with the bottom. I'm going to start with the bottom piece, or the bottom center. And again, you can use a light touch of laying these down. That one is cut weird. Let's see if I get another one. Well, we'll go forward with it. If you get your craft along and you find some that are cut odd, please reach out to me. Don't put it down, and I'll send you out some new ones. I thought I had these all checked, but I didn't, evidently. So that one might be just a little bit wonky, but I'm going to go forward with it. And just like before, like I was trying to put those too close together. Alrighty, there we go. Now that I have that base, I can put it on here. You might like to use Stamp and Seal Plus, tear and tape. I just kind of like the liquid glue. It finds a little something to catch on there. And we'll put that down. And just like before, if you wanted to, you could put your squares and have the paper in this direction if you want. I'm just going to go forward with making this look like the sample here. And on this one, we're going to use a happy birthday, and we're going to use our Petunia Pop. So we'll stamp happy birthday. The purple tones and the darker colors will stain your photopolymer. This is actually clean, and just because it's stained a little bit does not have anything to do with the quality of it. And so we're going to do happy birthday. And then on the inside of it, we're going to use the sentiment that says, "May all your wishes come true." And stamp that. Whoops. Didn't get a good. I would come over and do another label, but there you go. That one says that you need some eyeglasses. Thanks, Valerie. I'm glad you like the cards. Alrighty. And you can put some more of the flowers on it like we did previously if you wanted to. I'll just go ahead and kind of keep our class moving here today. Now for our embellishments that we're going to put on. This time we're going to have our leaf images. This one is a die cut that has 2 leaves that die cut at once. And if you want, you can just glue that one right down onto the card base, or you can attach it to the back of your label, of your sentiment. I'm just going to kind of put it here for now just to anchor it. We'll get our full-size dimensionals. I am absolutely loving this die shape. I can almost tell that I'll want to grab it each time. I just think it's such a pretty die. It's got the scallops and a stitched center in it. It's just really super pretty. And we'll go ahead and put this down. That just kind of goes over the leaves in the center here. And for this one, we're going to get some of the pretty in pink. It's a little different size of flowers. We'll flip those over and once again get our mini dimensionals, or you could cut your full-size dimensionals down in half. Oh, thanks. Doreen said, great sketch use. Thank you. I'm so glad that you like it and hopefully appreciate all of the different versions. I think that's kind of, it's always, I like to, anyways, I like to get one sketch, but then get different ideas for it. Those little flowers just want to stick to my hands. I must be getting them super close. All right, so for this one, I'm going to put this so that it's kind of in between the 2 leaves and down on the other corner. And if even you want to, you can kind of like put your, something like a stylist or even the tip of this, the putty part of it, and kind of make the flowers come up a little bit, petals if you want. And we'll grab our gems, our in color gems one more time. And I've got to go ahead and, use the green centers again. You use whichever ones that you want. And that is our third use of the layout. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring the sketch in again and our 3 cards that we made today on our craft along. So there's that one, there's this one, and our first one that doesn't have the bow on it yet. So again, this is the sketch that we started out with. And from the one sketch, we've got 3 different ideas to do. One that just mirrors it exactly. One that takes this and cuts it basically into 2/3, having one of the panel, cutting it down to 1 1¼ by 1¼ square. And then the third way is to take that same panels and cut it into thirds, so you'd have 3 1¼ squares. So that's one way of doing it, is to think about cutting this different. The center panel, just some options of using either cardstock or designer paper. And if you use the cardstock, this is without embossing and with embossing. Embossing just gives it that little bit a step up. And then also this shows that you can go on any of these, you can switch the orientation from vertical to horizontal. And then our last one is again taking the 3 squares, and if you use a non-white background, that just becomes the center panel by itself. And if you want to, you can emboss that whole and layering piece on it. Let me go ahead and I'll turn the camera around. I did want to show you a few more cards from the Unbound Beauty stamp set or designer paper. So here are even some more cards from this beautiful suite of products. This has nothing to do with this card sketch, just wanted to show you things. These are all inspired from our or cased from our annual catalog. And I want to thank my friend Linda for making these for me so that I have them in time to show you. But these were all made from the annual catalog as inspiration and using those same suite of products. So these are just more of the different frames that you see. This label, it actually die cuts out a background and a coordinating label piece or accent. So you can get that kind of a look. How beautiful is that? Again, these are all cased from the catalog and other things that you can do with that stamp set and suite of products. All right, everybody, I hope that you have a great rest of your week. And if I can help you anyways, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And thank you for those that took the class. I hope that you enjoy it. And like I said, if you have any of those squares that are miscut, please reach out to me. Wasn't my intention to do that. So hopefully everyone got great squares. All right, everybody, take care and happy crafting. Bye-bye.